Good morning, everyone. Hope you enjoy your weekend. So let's connect today very important part which we covered initial content last Friday. So today we will cover related to our Power Automate component. So this content is especially for who really want to understand the complete details related to Dynamics Power Automate capability, and who still want to uh, that explain or that expand their knowledge in this specific area, so that they can improve their day-to-day skills. So still, if there are some candidate who don't uh, able to work in the Power Automate or automation tasks, so they are still doing the manual work. So imagine, like, if emails, approvals, CRM updates or notifications, reports, and complete business process start working automatically in real time without heavy coding. So what is your value addition in that area? So try to understand that perspective. So today I'm going to show you how Microsoft Power Automate and MS Flow are transforming business and creating huge career opportunity for IT professionals. It could be freshers, it could be dynamic CRM developers, it could be person who is working as a support representative also. If you want to enter the world of automation, you want to increase your salary, move into high paying Microsoft technology, or become an expert in Power Automate, this session is for you. Join this live session and learn real-time automation scenario step by step with practical demos. So don't miss it. Become automation is the features. So be ready. We will start working on this particular session. So I hope you all ready, and you already start working multiple things related to the automation. It could be related to scribe online. So there are multiple tools, other tools also, which we are utilizing as part of the automation part. So it's better here. uh, we can initiate different multiple things which we already initiated last session. So I'm going to share my screen so that we can understand here. So there are some sample that we will try to implement here. So 1 minute. So meanwhile, do you have anything that we can discuss further? Whatever we covered so far? Any query, anything that you need my attention? Anything? Just add your comment here. Otherwise, we are good to go. Are you facing any issue? Anything that required our here my time? Yes or no? Are you able to work in this particular session, like, or you are just listening this particular session? It's very useful if you are doing real time practical also. Otherwise, you will have huge barrier while you are doing in one time. If we are doing practical things, then only we are able to achieve. Otherwise, it's very difficult. So I will tell you what types of, here two or three, that real time practical things we try to implement here. Okay. 1 minute. Good morning, Nadeem. Good morning, Nishant. Okay, let me share my screen quickly. I'm I'm planning to take one or two session also. Let me know when we can schedule it so that you also have more connect into this particular session. Can you suggest me the timing when we have that session? Or otherwise, I will set up late night, maybe 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock in the evening. If you have some time, what happened? Why it is not loading? Hope you are able to see my screen. Good. I hope everyone okay for that Hindi content, like you are able to understand. Yes or no? I need your uh, consent also. Yes. Today 10 or 10:30, 10 or 10:30 p.m. How many team members are available? You can join over your phone also if needed, and then you can watch in Hindi or maybe in other time. Good morning, Pulkit. So let me know if we can do that session today. This is especially for that AI mode, why people's choosing this session, or why dynamic CRM, have more compatibility in terms of other technology. Okay, so these two, three, that two, these three, one scheduled and one test, MS Flow, we have created test automate tools. So let's start this particular session today. So we already know that dynamic CRM, Power Automate, SharePoints. So we need to integrate dynamic CRM some content with the help of Power Platform tools. We can integrate directly with SharePoint, Microsoft D365 different tools. So do you have any idea like what is the difference here? Microsoft Dynamics CRM, other tools like M365. Do you have any idea like what is M365? M, so you just need to understand the Microsoft ecosystem. M365. What is M365? Microsoft 365. So Microsoft 365 subscription based on productivity and cloud platform. So it could be Microsoft Word, it could be Excel, PowerPoint, Outlook, Teams, OneDrive, SharePoint. So if you want to take any license related to this M365, so you must understand what is M365 tools here or subscription or licensing part, so that you should understand the Microsoft ecosystem. So if you want to integrate Dynamics CRM with Microsoft that 365 other tools also. So this is out of the box integrations here. But if you want to perform some actions, like suppose if any cloud file are added into this particular Microsoft OneDrive place, or any files added into the SharePoints also. So you have that different trigger points. You can perform some different action also. So you can track. Suppose if you want to add some here approval in the Microsoft team, or you want to add some approval in Microsoft Outlook also, so you have that flexibility. I can send that approval notification to the Microsoft Outlook directly with the help of this automation task. And you can get, you can even do the next action here, different level of next actions. So what you have to do here as part of this one, we have some different here, what we can say, uh, different templates which we can utilize as part of this particular integration. How we can achieve this one, that we will learn during this particular session. Okay, so Microsoft 365 uh, component, if we need to integrate business operations. So business operation, what are the business operations? Any idea? Like whatever they are doing in their day-to-day activity. So even if you are a fresher looking of a high paying IT skills, you have to learn this particular content. So this session is completely changing your direction here. So automation approval process, auto notification, real time integration, AI based automation, paperless business process if you want to do. So we can do all those process here. Real time integration, what it means here, real time integration? Any idea? Anyone? Like if we have different applications means it could be a, here suppose I will tell you, I will give you one example here. Real time integration means suppose this is the CRM box. This is completely CRM box. And there is another box. It could be a ERP, SAP, or any other environment. So, so here this is CRM, this is ERP. So there are some possibility, like there are some products are adding into the ERP side, or there might be some invoicing are adding into the ERP side. So suppose if there is something here invoicing or creating into the ERP. So those ERP invoicing we have to integrate with dynamic CRM. So what it means, when we are creating the invoice into CRM, it is not like we have to do that action here manually. So suppose I have created one invoice one here, and now I have created again invoice 2, invoice 3. So here I can create multiple invoice here, because in ERP we are maintaining here invoicing, and we are maintaining here tax calculation and all. That's why we are creating invoicing from ERP. And then integration, many people they are asking, can you do this integration? So we are not able to understand what is integration here. So whatever data we are having here, the same data we need to create here in dynamics here. So we have two options here. One is manual, another here is automation. So manual is like here, whatever we have invoice one information, we can create here manually. We can select the same customer amount and all. So whatever we are doing here, we can create here CRM. So that is the manual activity. So what is this recommended now in a day? If suppose in every day we have, suppose, approximate 2000 invoice creating into the ARP. So our team need to create manually here. That is not recommended. We need to hire some additional person and they need to do that activity manually. But if we have that requirement, we have that understanding, we can do the similar activity with the help of this automation task. So like when a record is creating into ERP, so we have a trigger point. When a record is creating into the ERP, that has to be created into the CRM side automatically without any manual intervention. So if daily basis 2000, in monthly basis maybe 30 into 2000. So that many record we may have, and there is no issue here related to the automation. If something is failing, we can do the different, we have different activity. But even we have done that here manual, now we moved from manual to automation. Now, if that activity is doing as automation, then in automatically automation task also we may have two types of here manual automation. One is real time sync, and another option here is one time sync. It could be daily basis. It could be depend on frequency. So one time fix or every or based on frequency, based on frequency here. So it could be every 1 hour. So suppose if we want to sync every data based on like last 1 hour, whatever data we have created, we can sync into our CRM system based on our understanding and the scope. If they want like, hey, this particular data is not needed like very urgent, but we need to sync all those data here on daily basis also, 1 hour, every 3 hour, every 4 hour, every day, every week, or every month wise, we can do that sync up. So that's why our we have created our syncing here as a scheduled flow. If we want that level of syncing, like if we want to do real time syncing, so which types of flow we need to create here? We have to create a trigger based flow. Like when a record is creating, then we have to sync that particular data. When we need real time syncing, it means we should have to implement that one in trigger based integration. If it is frequency based or scheduled based integration, then it could be considered as scheduled based integration here. Now, I hope you understand when we have to use our trigger point based on the flow. Understand? Understood? What is the benefit here of this particular syncing? Frequency based or real time? So I hope you should understand the real time syncing and one time syncing or frequency based syncing, so that we have to take a decision either we have to go for which types of trigger points. So let's move into the next step here. So what is here? Power automate. Now we already covered this uh, point. Different type of flow we already discussed here. Real time automation scenario, integration, approval, email automation, SharePoint automation, Teams integrations, error handling, career opportunity, and here real world project experience. So let's quickly move here this one. So Power Automate is a cloud-based automation platform here for Microsoft. Earlier, this particular tools is known as MS Flow or Microsoft Flow. It helps organize automation repetitive tasks without heavy coding. So simple definition we can say here: Power Automates helps system talk to each other automatically. So suppose we need to integrate here with CRM and ERP. So that suppose if any invoice is created, so they are moving this information to here. So that is the simple definition we can say. For example, when a lead is creating into CRM, send a email notification automatically. So if suppose if there is a scenario here, suppose there are multiple leads are creating into system. Lead means we are having multiple query from the different users, different prospect. So we should know our sales representative. They should get a immediate notification like, hey, someone tried to reach you. You're responsible here to take care of this particular requirement. So whatever we want to send that notification, we have that opportunity to send a notification. Another one here is when manager approve leave request. So HR should get notified automatically. Suppose I want to take 2 days leave here. So what we have to do? Manage. We need to raise a request, and that manager has to approve that particular leave here. So HR team member, they should notify here based on this particular approval process or notification process. Next example we can say when invoice updated into the SharePoint, approval flow start automatically. So suppose there is a invoice updated into the SharePoint. What is invoice here? Suppose we have a vendor, they have raised one that invoicing, and if they uploaded their invoicing into the SharePoint site which we have given, so when a record is creating into that specific invoicing place, so we a approval process will initiate, and the approval or consent team they will get a notified like, hey, this particular invoice amount is getting created and it's required your immediate attention, you have to approve this much amount, or you have to review this particular task here. So that might be different scenario here. When a customer raise a ticket, next example we have here, suppose you are selling something and you have a number of customer. So customer raised a request. When customer raised ticket, so team notification triggered automatically. So when a customer raise a ticket, you should get notified over the teams also. It is not like you have to check in the outlook only. You should get notified here in the teams also if you are available in the teams. So that is the real time some scenario which we can automate with the help of this Power Automate. So this saves times, manual efforts, human errors, or operational cost. Whatever we have done the automation, there might be a less manual efforts here, less here time consuming operation, and even we can save the operation cost also. And what we can do here as part of this productivity, we can increase the productivity process. If we have defined something, so we can make this process efficiently, and we can increase the business speed. Why automation Power Automate becomes so popular now in a day? Because every company wants digital transformation. Every company, every government also, now even Indian government also plan the digitalization. Every government sector, they are planning to do the digitalization part. Either you are going to raise a your passport, or your that PAN card, or your Aadhaar card, or your even your what we can say driving license. Earlier days they have totally different process. So digitalization means they have to define some process and everyone have to follow that process. Earlier company used manual Excel work, or register work, paperwork, different manual approvals, manual emails, manual flow, follow ups. So now we can do that process as completely we can say the automated process. Suppose uh, we don't have any automation task. Suppose there is a files comes in a government department for approval, or maybe for getting one license. So what they have to do? They have to first verify it. They have to raise, or they have to create a request, or they have to write some manual email, and they have to attach some required documents, and they have to send, maybe if they are utilizing any email process, they have to send that complete email, and they have to send to the concerned department. They have seen that email or not. What they have done, either they have they skip that particular email, they don't know. But even if you have created a process where you have to do the approved or reject, otherwise it will show into your bucket. Like this particular request is pending since so long, you have to take a notification. If a person is not taken any action within this particular duration, like next 2 days, last 2 days or 3 days, this particular request is pending for approval, so there might be another email notification. Maybe we can add their manager, or we may trigger a additional escalation matrix for that one, if we have created a proper process for that one. So we can optimize that process so that we can forcefully apply that process, so that they have to follow that process, otherwise they can get a additional escalation. So With the help of this particular automation process, every industry and every organization, they try to optimize their day-to-day basis process so that they can increase their productivity. Now business won't automate everywhere. Power Automates integrate with D365, 365, SharePoint, Teams, Outlook, Excel, SAP, Oracle, SQL Server, Azure, API. API means if we are utilizing API, we can integrate with any other application which they are supporting. Third party system, any third party system. If we are including third party system, it means it could be anything which support those above things. Microsoft provide 1000 connector here. It means we can automate anything. That's why Microsoft Power Platforms jobs are growing rapidly. Companies are hiring Power Automate developers, Power Platform consultant, Dynamic 365 developers, automation engineers, solution architect. Salaries are very attractive, especially if you have D365 Power Automate plus AI. That's why we are insisting everyone to use AI also, right? So now let's discuss or let's try to understand automated cloud flow automatically triggered based on the event. So automated cloud flows that we already discussed. If it is real time integration, then new lead created, email received, file uploaded, case created. We have n number of different triggers available in the CRM here that you have already seen. You already seen that particular things here. If you want to add any trigger points. Okay, let's discuss till the time it will open. So real time case created. So now the second one here is real time automation. So instant flow. If we want to integrate something, so like button click, mobile triggered, manual approvals here, we may have this one. So we may have manual approvals, we may have scheduled flow. So these types of trigger points we can achieve here in this particular scenario. Now run a scheduled interval here. Example, daily report at 9 a.m. If we want to get any email notification, weekly reminder, monthly invoice generation, desktop flow, RPA. So we have different types of scheduled flow here that we already discussed. So used on old legacy application, automates mouse click, keyboard action, desktop applications here. So now understand the triggers and actions. Every flow contains triggers and actions. So triggers means when your flow start, whatever logic, whatever things it will automate when it should start. It is not like for whatever we have written, it can complete at any time, but at least we have to define a trigger point when this logic will start. So when your flow should start here, what should happen after triggering? So that is your action. Suppose your flow is triggered. So what will happen? So trigger means when new leads created into dynamic CRM action, send an email, create task, notify sales manager, create SharePoint folder. So if I want to implement this one, so when a lead creating into dynamic CRM, send an email, create your task, create a task. Create a task means what is the meaning here? Create a task. Create a task, assign that particular task to a specific sales member so that they suppose create a task means you have to perform one action or whatever this lead is associated, you have to perform this particular task. Notify your sales manager, like this particular task is created and you have to perform this action, and maybe you have to create a SharePoint folder, that is your business need. This is complete automation task. So common trigger here is record creation, email received, file uploaded, HTTP request. HTTP request is that, like, if we want to call any logic on button click event, then we have to it is just for yeah, like we can say on demand request. Form submitted, when it means the record is submitted, form is submitted. Form is we have different form, Google forms, or we similarly we have Microsoft also given the customer feedback form. So that is also we have different trigger points here. Common action, send email, update record, create task, post team message, call API. We have those n number of scenario here. So now we let's discuss some of the real time scenario here. When a new, so these are the real time scenario. Maybe you can implement those triggers based on your practical scenario. So one example, when new lead record is created into CRM, send welcome email, notify sales manager, create follow-up task, add lead to SharePoint list. So these types of requirement we have to implement. Now, how to do this one? When a lead is created, get lead information, send Outlook email, create task activity, send task email notification, store data into the SharePoint. Those are the out of the box templates which are available in your Power Automate, and you can perform that action. No manual follow up, faster customer engagement, better tracking, improve productivity. This is real enterprise automation scenario. If I can give you one this particular scenario here, maybe the last point you may need to, yeah, will cover your function also. Now, real second point here is one of the most useful scenario in companies here. Example, leave approvals process. Employee submitting leave request. Flow automatically do send approval to manager, wait for response. If manager approved it or not, update SharePoint or CRM, send confirmation email. That is the real time that requirement we are having here for any that employee management system. So second, and now you may have that question now, how to achieve that particular requirement here. Now you can create a employee leave request, that custom entity, and then you, when a request leave request is creating, you can send a approval to the manager at the user level or that employee level. You can maintain a manager, then you can achieve that particular request. finance, HR, procurement, and operations. You can use this one. Now, teams automation here. So now let's connect, like high priority support ticket is created. So send, suppose we have three level of priority: priority one, priority two, or low, high, and severe or medium. We can define that one. So suppose a high priority ticket we have received. So what to do here? So create a ticket when if we can check on create event, like if record type that priority is high, we need to send an email alert. Hey, this is high priority alert. We need to take care of this one in next 4 hour or 6 hour. Notify support team in Teams. Create urgent task. This is the additional task. If we are creating a urgent task, escalate if unresolved. If this particular task is not resolved, escalate it. So we can do this particular, you know, uh, automation task, and we can optimize these particular things. So this is the third example I have given you. So these are the real project based requirement we have here. Now, SharePoint Excel automation, invoice uploaded to SharePoint that we discussed earlier also. Flow automation, read files, send approval, store metadata, update Excel tracker, notify finance teams also. This is also, real time automation we have. So, advanced feature here. What types of here advanced concept we have here? Condition may be here. Suppose if one amount, suppose if I have a here a what we can say, if we have a order entity, if we have order amount is less or greater than 1 lakh, we need to send a approval for a higher authority. So if we need to implement that particular information, so that is the real time project base. If it's for any organization, like suppose if a department, if any any department, if any order we have received, so we can accept it if that particular amount is more than 1 lakh, so they don't have that capability, so that they can proceed further. They need to take different certain level of approval. It could be business side approval, it could be second level of approval, whatever definition we have. It could be depend on the requirement also. So these are the basic things, basic example that we can achieve with the help of those particular flow. Now, how to implement that one, what types of flow we are doing here, you can simply automate. Don't tell me like we don't have that option even in the trial environment. Till that time, you suppose, I can tell you, like you can simply say, hey, I don't have C sharp experience, I have less expertise in .NET. Come here, write your code here in the automate level. You need not to write here a complex logic. You need not to have higher experience in the JavaScript, HTML, CSS. Just thought, increase your thought process. Try to understand like how to achieve this one. So these are the basic things you need to implement here, and try to implement. Or if you are not that much good, so use and become a expert in any of those Power Automate uh, tools. It could be Scribe, it could be Kingspace, it could be SSIS package, it could be those Logic app ETL package. There are many job opportunity which are available in the market. If you are become expertise, if you have expertise in any of the tools, and now you learn many things related to the other things also, like here Copilot Studio, where you need to design a chat agent. So that is the additional edge case that you are learning. So suppose this is the Power Automate tool that you have created. Here that we have, we have created a very simple example here. When a lead is created, lead is added into the system, we are sending a email notification. That's it. Suppose if we want to change that logic, if we want to send a notification like when a lead is deleted, we need to send a notification. Lead is deleted. We want to change our logic here. Suppose here six is something is modified here. Specific item is modified here. We can check that particular things and we can add that information here also. Here, if something is modified, we can add different columns here and we can add different filter also. We can define different variable also here. We can define some variable, we can store some information into the variable also. Initialize a variable. We can define here the different types of variable here. Suppose whatever we can define here, like in any code, lead name, it could be boolean, it could be integer, it could be float, it could be string, it could be object, it could be array. If it is a string here, we can save it. We can reuse this particular lead name in any other place. Like suppose here we need to retrieve some information here, and suppose if we need to store, suppose that variable here, suppose set variable, whatever variable we are having here, we can set that information here. Dynamic value, what types of dynamic value we are having here. Lead source, we can check that lead source also. Lead name here, if we are checking if this is a lead coming from the website, we need to send a notification. We can check that lead source also. If that email that content lead source is related to that website, or we may have different lead source, we can check and we can perform that action. So that level of logic we can define here as part of my Power Automate. So in this particular platform, we need not to, become a that level of expert. Like we have to have different skill set exposure related to core hard developers. So even if you are not coming from that level of background where you have any specific, what we can say, technology background experience, if you have a good .NET developer exposure in your past, then this specific technology is for you. Then you can do anything. I can say you can write plugin code, you can do automation task, you can write API, you can do integration, different level of integration. You can write the REST API, you can write different types of API. Even you can host anything. You can write a Azure function. You can host into the Azure side. If you have, I want to tell one thing. If you are listening this video, if you are having .NET experience or React experience, this technology give you a additional edge case for you, especially for if you are having any exposure in .NET or any technology. If you frustrated here, my salary are not increasing. I have 5 year of experience in .NET technology. I have 10 year of experience in .NET technology, but I'm here only getting that less amount. So this is this area is for you. Frankly speaking, here you can learn many things, many exposure you have here in this particular section. If you are a fresher, that's fine. You can choose here. If you are a tester, you may learn many things which are giving some additional educate. Even if you are a support engineer, you without investing or without spending much time here, you can increase your salary. Even you can become a, if you are a .NET developers, you can become here as a portal developers. Now in a day, portal development also a high demanding skills here. So try, even if you are a .NET developer, you have additional edge case. You can easily understand the complex logic also here. I know even a .NET developers know to create a form and to store that information into the database. How big task we have in .NET even till now. But in dynamic CRM, this is a plug in play task. Just spend your 2 or 3 months task and you can increase your package 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, whatever you have currently now in a day. I will give you guarantee, like if you are investing your 6 months dedicated to this technology, your package becomes 5 times whatever you are getting now. But you have to be serious about your profession, your deliverable items. CRM developers, anyhow, we are learning as a CRM developers. Functional consultant also, they can give some of the task, like it is not I am a functional consultant only, I cannot write my Power Automate task. They are contributing as part of complex logic. They are developing and they are enhancing their skills also. So power platform developments, automation consultants, solution architect, and API here, automation, AI automation. Now, after, maybe in next consecutive sessions, we will learn about AI automation. What is the AI automation? How we can utilize it. Best combination here is Dynamics 365 CRM, Power Automates, Power Apps, Azure, and AI combinations. You can have to get high paying job, international project, remote opportunity, and even this freelancer work. Even if you are facing any issue, you cannot work for any company project. So even at least for doing with your personal responsibility, it could be anything, you can take this opportunity also. Approval workflow, how to do this practice. CRM integration, email automation, SharePoint automation, and Teams integration. So here we have Power Automate is not just a tool; it's a complete business automation platform. If you want to more practice here session, maybe you can go fit for D365 CRM Power Platform, AI automation, real-time integration, Azure, and Power Apps. So hope you understand these particular things. Let me know if you just try to utilize these particular tools. There are many tools where you cannot have option to do your practical trainings, like, hey, because we don't have that environment, we cannot perform that action, and we are not able to do the practice here. That's why we are not able to learn. I have seen many people which they are giving excuse like anything. I want to learn this one, I'm here, I'm curious. Even they have motivation like anything, but they don't want to do practical training, practical sessions. Now how I can help them? Hey Koti, thank you for joining. Using list row, are you getting amount entity details? Like, if amount is there, amount is not an entity, amount could be a currency field. You can retrieve that information. If you want to retrieve that information, amount also, currency also is similar, same field. That is not a different types of data set. It is not like we have to read or we have to create any relational entity and we need to retrieve. If you want to store that information even in the string also, you have to do the conversion, but you have to store that one into the float level or maybe number entity. That is completely fine. If you have different data type and if you want to store that information in different data type, suppose I will give you one example. When we have to store everything into the string, suppose if we want to do some here tracing part, I want to create a tracing variable here and I want to store that everything into my tracing variable. So it I have that option. I can read that data. Either it could be currency type, it could be number type, it could be a lookup type. I can retrieve everything, I can store that information into the tracing object and I can store it. That is not a big issue here. If you have different data types, so we have option to do the typecasting. If you know everything, any information related to typecasting, you can perform that action. But if you are not doing typecasting, you may get object reference not to set an instance. You have to do the null check reference. You have to do proper here validation. Then only you have to do the typecasting. If sometimes some of the record in lower environment, maybe we may have correct data, but maybe in production or in another environment we are telling like, hey, our code is working fine in lower environment. When we are migrating or when we are moving into the production environment, our code is not working. The reason behind it, we have not taken care null check even in the our code level. So hope you understand the you know purpose of storing or doing the proper typecasting or converting into the proper format, so that we should not get the error. Hope you understand. I will try to set up a session in Hindi also, so that our Hindi guy, Hindi friendly, some person I got multiple times that request like, can you share or can you initiate session in Hindi also? in our native language. So let's try to even create 1 or 2 session maybe in every week, so that they can leverage this particular session also. Anyhow, language is not becoming a barrier into our career. So try to increase our capability even in terms of our language. Okay, so I will inform you. Be with us. Try to connect in different channels. Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much for your time here. Let me know if you need my attention somewhere. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.